And we are back with our men's 10,000 meters in the Fall World Cup Selection Trials of 2017. We will begin shortly with the first pair of Antoine Gelinas-Beaulieu by himself in this first pair of the 10,000 meters. This race is 25 laps long, and it is very commendable for Antoine to be doing this race solo. We will see how it goes, and we will begin in a few minutes. Harder. Yeah, I guess if you get bad air, it's like you're on your own anyway, so it's a different. No problem. No problem, because I don't see my pair usually after the first 10 meters. Somebody's got himself. But it's just, you guys are just going off the coach's pace for it. And we are about to get underway here with our first pair of the men's 10,000 meter. Antoine Gelinas-Beaulieu on the inner lane from Quebec. And we are underway with Antoine on the inner lane in this 25 lap 10,000 meter. It is very key in this race to set a good rhythm early on. As you can see, Antoine is trying to be very relaxed as he goes into the second turn of the race. Antoine coming up on his first lap time into this third corner with a time of 35.91. The lap time of the first lap is not conditional to the rest of the lap times in the race. As you can see, the starting line starts at the same point that the lap times are taken. So we expect this next lap to be much faster than his initial lap. Antoine with a second lap of 32.12 seconds. Let's see if he can settle into that easy rhythm. As you can see, he's trying to get a big fall in those straightaway pushes to get lots of pressure into the ice. Very relaxed coming around this next corner. And another lap time of 32.77. Very flat. Well done. Antoine's coach on the backstretch giving him encouragement as he goes into this next corner. Again, it is very commendable for him to be doing this 25 lap race solo. It is a hard race to begin with. By yourself is a whole nother challenge. Antoine with another lap time of 32.71, very flat. Big long pushes on this back stretch, getting lots of power out of the ice as he goes into the corner. Antoine with another lap time of 32.53. Very good. Very close to his other lap times and flat for the whole race. Well done. Antoine in this 10,000 meter, having done a 5K just yesterday, a very good race in his 5K yesterday with a time of 6:22. Another lap by Antoine at 32.59, very flat. Very difficult to get in the right mental state to do this 10K. You have to be very relaxed. Make sure you don't put too much into the race at the beginning. 25 laps is a long way to go. Antoine with another 32.85 lap. Very flat on these lap times. That's very promising in this early stages of the 10K. And a 32.55 by Antoine. A third of the way through this race, Antoine is on a very good pace of mid 32 laps. And a negative split by Antoine with a 32.37 with 16 laps to go in this 25 lap race. Again, staying very smooth on that backstretch to make sure he gets as much power into the ice as he can. Efficiency is key in this 10,000 meter. Gliding on the inner lane there was Jordan Belchos, who will be racing in the next race of the 10,000 meters. Antoine with another low 32 lap time of 32.32. It is common for skaters to fatigue in the middle of this race and get a second win near the end. We'll see if Antoine can do that going into this next lap with 14 to go. And another negative split by Antoine with 31.96. Let's see if he can stay into those 31-second laps. Antoine coming around out of this corner into another front stretch. And back into those 32-second laps with 32.28. Due to the start and finish point of this race, there will be no 5K halfway split, but his 5K split would be around 6:45 or 6:50, which is very commendable in this 10K. And another 32.25 second lap for Antoine. Sticking with those 32-second laps seems to be his game plan for this race. Those long strides in the backstretch, adding a little bit of upper body movement, which is not always good in a long race like this, but we'll see if it works out. And an exact same lap time for Antoine with a 32.25. He seems to be putting in a little more effort on this backstretch as he goes into the next corner. Relaxation is key in this 10,000 meter race as Antoine comes up to another lap time. 31.99, another negative split. More upper body movement in that backstretch, not always a good idea when you're trying to conserve energy, especially in a race as long as this. And back into the 32s for Antoine with a 32.15. Seems that those low 32-second laps are where he is comfortable and where he will stay. And back down to 31 for Antoine with a 31.95, sticking right around those 31 highs and 32 lows. After taking a long break from speed skating for a few years, Antoine has been back in the last couple years to make a sort of comeback into the World Cup scene. Let's see how he does in this 10,000 meter. Another 31 by Antoine with a 31.77. Six laps to go in this 10,000 meter. You can see the fatigue as Antoine goes down the back stretch of the ice. Another 31.81 for Antoine. This part of the race is very key as the fatigue will be setting in greatly at this point. It's mind over matter from here on out. And coming back down this front stretch, lots of people cheering Antoine on with another 31.67. Negative splits for the last 4 laps. The time to do for Antoine in this 10,000 meter is 13.35.30. That is the qualifying time for the Canadian World Cup team. And another 31.85. 3 laps to go coming down this back stretch. Lots of cheering as he's coming up to 2 laps to go. 31.47, another negative split by Antoine. Negative splits at this point in the race are very rare, and it is very commendable for him to be doing this alone. And I was mistaken before. It seems that he now has 2 laps to go. Another negative split with a 31.53. I was going off of you. That's why I said that. I didn't hear you. I just heard you. It's like, what? That's right. And coming around this turn into 1 lap to go. Here we go. You can see the pain in Antoine's face, but he is pushing through. There's the bell for his last lap. Another negative split for Antoine, 31.13. Very strong down this last back stretch. You can see the pain in his face as he comes around the last corner. And down the final stretch, you can hear all of that yelling, cheering Antoine on as he's going for it. And a final time of 13 minutes, 25 seconds flat. well under the Canadian time standard for World Cups. Very well done, and a solo race to boot. In our next pair, we have Hamish Black from BC on the inner lane and Jordan Belchos from Ontario in the outer lane. Again, both of these skaters raced a 5K not only yesterday, and now they will be doing double that in 25 laps of this 10K race. And a clean start for these two skaters as they go into the corner of their first lap. Jordan Belchos represented Canada in the 10,000 meter on the World Cup circuit last year. And Hamish Black has skated World Cup trials in this distance for the past 2 seasons. Very relaxed coming into this first lap. And a lap time of 34.94 for Belchos and 36.36 for Hamish Black. Very, very relaxed on this backstretch as they get feedback from their coaches. It's very important not to get too ahead of yourself when you are racing a pair slightly faster than you. It's important to race your own race and make sure that you don't exert too much energy in this long, long race. Another lap for Jordan Belchos at 30.38 and Hamish Black with a time of 31.25. Both skaters slightly ahead of Antoine's time in the previous race. And Jordan Belchos with a 50-meter lead on Hamish Black with a time of 30.81. Hamish Black's lap time, 32.19. Both skaters still ahead of Antoine Gelinas-Beaulieu. Jordan Belchos almost 5 seconds. Jordan Belchos with a lap time of 31.2 seconds. Hamish Black coming up closely behind him with a time of 32.77. Both skaters seem to be settling into their race lap times, and we'll see where it goes from here. A very important aspect of staying relaxed in this race is the fall that you achieve in your pushes on the straightaway. As you can see, when Jordan Belchos comes down, he is very slowly falling to side to get as much pressure into the ice as he can. Jordan Belchos' lap time, 31.2 seconds. Hamish Black with a 32.67. Belchos slowly increasing his lead on Antoine Gelinas-Beaulieu's time in the previous race. Hamish Black is skating similar lap times, but is still slightly ahead. Jordan Belchos with another lap time of 31.23, very flat. Only 0.03 of a second difference from his last lap. Hamish Black, 32.73 lap time, also very close. And Hamish Black entering this corner to come around to 2,800 meters. Jordan Belchos, 2,800 meters with a lap time of 31.44 seconds. And with that, he is just over 10 seconds faster than Antoine Gelinas-Beaulieu's previous lap time. Hamish Black with a lap time of 32.96, slowly making his way up to those 33-second laps. Let's see if he can hold those 32s. Jordan Belchos with another 31-second lap time with 31.44. Hamish Black coming up to another lap time at 3,200 meters, 32.92 seconds. Still staying in those 32-second laps. Jordan Belchos very relaxed going along this south corner as he comes into another lap. Very smooth down that front stretch with another lap time of 31.44, an exact same lap time. Hamish Black now into the 33-second laps with a 33.19, still very low. Let's see if he can bring it back down to those 32s. Jordan Belchos back around on the front stretch, coming into another lap. Very smooth going into this corner. A lap time of 31.49, very, very flat. He is now slightly more than 13 seconds ahead of Antoine Gelinas-Beaulieu's previous time. Hamish Black is slightly behind Antoine's time now with a lap time of 33.45. Jordan Belchos with another lap time of 31.37. Staying very flat with these low 31-second laps, he is on track for a very solid time. Hamish Black coming around the front stretch. Hamish Black with a 33.91 second lap. He's starting to feel the fatigue in his legs. Hopefully he makes a comeback with a second win sometime in this race. Jordan Belchos with another low 31-second lap, 31.23. Staying very flat and very relaxed in this 10,000-meter race. Hamish Black once again coming up the front stretch. Hamish Black now into the 34-second laps, 34.24. Just over 5 seconds behind Antoine Gelinas-Beaulieu's time. Jordan Belchos with another low 31-second lap, 31.27. Now just over 15 seconds ahead of Antoine's previous set time. Hamish Black coming up to another lap time, and we see Jordan Belchos back there coming up to lap Hamish. Hamish Black with a lap time of 34.85. And Jordan Belchos with another low 31-second lap, 31.35. Now with a view of Hamish Black, Jordan Belchos will try to chase him down. Very slowly and methodically. That's what it's all about in this 10,000 meter. Hamish Black with a lap time of 34.47 seems to be sitting into those 34-second laps. And Jordan Belchos with a 31.21. Coming around the south corner once again, Jordan Belchos gaining more ground on Hamish Black as they come into the straightaway. And a little bit of a bind up in this corner as Jordan Belchos passes Hamish Black. Jordan Belchos with a negative split of 30.78 seconds and Hamish Black with a lap time of, it seems that we are getting some technical difficulties with the crossover of the two skaters. And Jordan Belchos coming through this lap with a time of 31.39 seconds. No lap time for Hamish Black in this lap, but hopefully we will get one in the next round. Hamish Black with the view of Jordan Belchos now. Hopefully he will use that to his advantage and pick up the pace to chase him down. Jordan Belchos coming around again with a lap time of 31.74. Very solid. Hamish Black back with the lap times, 34.24, settling into those 34-second laps. And Hamish Black driving into this corner, trying to make up as much ground as he can. Jordan Belchos still very relaxed with a time of 31.84 seconds. Hamish Black with another low 34 lap time, 34.28. A little bit of pain there visible in Jordan Belchos' face, but let's see if he can hold those 31-second laps. Another very solid lap time by Jordan Belchos, dipping into those 32s with a 32.16. He is now just over 18 seconds ahead of Antoine Gelinas-Beaulieu, posted in the last race. Hamish Black with a lap time of 34.71. Jordan Belchos well ahead of the World Cup time standard of 13 minutes, 35.3 seconds. Coming around with another lap time of 32.24, seems to be settling into those low 32-second laps. Hamish Black with a lap time of 35.21. Hopefully he can bring that back down to those 34s where he was settling in earlier. Jordan Belchos coming down the front stretch very strong, very relaxed with a lap time of 32.63. This is the point in the race where the fatigue is settling in and you have to push harder than ever before. Hamish Black with another 35 lap time, 35.89. Visible pain there on Jordan Belchos' face as he comes into the front stretch with 1,200 meters to go. 32.64 for Jordan Belchos. Hamish Black coming up to 800 meters to go. Sorry, 1,200 meters to go for Hamish Black with a lap time of 35.62. And we have the bell here for Jordan Belchos as he goes into the last lap of his 10,000 meter with a time of 32.46. Hopefully he can stay into those 32-second laps for his last lap. Hamish Black coming around the south corner with 2 laps to go. Jordan Belchos into his last turn of his 10,000 meter. Hamish Black with a lap time of 35.98 with 800 meters to go. Jordan Belchos down the final stretch on the inner here. Hands on his knees, very tired, with a final time of 13 minutes, 12.12 seconds. Very well done. Hamish Black coming into the corner with 1 lap to go after this corner. And there we have the bell lap for Hamish Black as he comes into 400 meters to go with a lap time of 35.32. Big negative split for Hamish Black. Let's see if he can drop into those 34s for his last lap. And Hamish Black coming into the last turn of his 10,000 meter race. Very, very much pain on his face. Let's see if he can push through to the very end. And last 50 meters for Hamish Black, pushing very hard to the end with a finishing time of 14 minutes, 12 seconds, and a big negative split in that last lap for Hamish with a 34.0 lap time. In our next and final pair of the men's 10,000 meter races on the inner, we have Graeme Fish from Saskatchewan, and we have Ted-Jan Bloemen of Alberta on the outer. Ted-Jan Bloemen on the outer holds the world record in this 10,000 meter distance of 12 minutes and 36 seconds. And a clean start for these two skaters as they go into the first corner of their 10,000 meter. It will be a very interesting race for young Graeme Fish to see what he can do against the world record holder, Ted-Jan Bloemen. And a very quick start by Ted as he already has a 20-meter lead on Graeme Fish. First lap time of 33.84 for Jan Bloemen and 36.38 for Graeme Fish. Very smooth skating for both of these skaters. Graeme Fish much younger than Ted-Jan Bloemen. Ted-Jan Bloemen coming in to another lap time. 29.86 seconds, under 30-second lap. That's very well done in this 10,000 meter. Graeme Fish with a lap time of 31.66. It's very important that Graeme Fish skates his own race in this situation. He doesn't want to waste too much energy trying to keep up with the world record holder. Ted-Jan with another lap time, 30.16 seconds. Graeme Fish with a 32.22 second lap. Ted-Jan Bloemen very smooth going down this back stretch into another corner. Ted-Jan Bloemen coming up to another lap time. 30.30 seconds. Seems to be settling into those low 30-second laps. Graeme Fish with another low 32-second lap time. 32.32. Also seems to be settling into those lap times. Ted-Jan Bloemen, the best in the world at this 10,000 meter distance, coming down the front stretch. Another low 30-second lap for Ted-Jan Bloemen, 30.42 seconds. Graeme Fish with also another low 32-second lap, 32.35. After 2,000 meters, Ted-Jan Bloemen is almost 4 seconds ahead of Jordan Belchos' previous set time. And another lap time for Ted-Jan Bloemen, low 30 seconds, 30.33. Graeme Fish seems to be about 150 meters behind Ted-Jan with a lap time of 32.09 seconds. Ted-Jan Bloemen, 30.37 seconds for another low 30 lap time. Graeme Fish coming out of that turn into the front stretch. Long, slow pushes from Fish as he comes in for a 32.46 second lap. Bloemen seems to be about 200 meters ahead of Fish at this point. Another low 30-second lap, 30.35 for Bloemen. Again, racing your own race in this 10,000 meter is very important. You don't want to get caught up in anybody else's times. Graeme Fish coming up to the line with a 32.38 second lap. Very good job settling into those low 32s. Ted-Jan Bloemen coming around again with a 30.33 second lap. Very smooth in the corners, very relaxed as he's going around the turns. Graeme Fish, Canada's youngest 10,000 meter skater at this point in time, coming up to another lap. 32.75 seconds, bumping up into those high 32-second laps. Let's see if he can hold them. And Ted coming up, now also bumping up into the high second of his laps, 30.64 seconds. The key for these skaters now is to stay in their lap times, 32s for Graeme and 30s for Ted-Jan. And another negative split for Graeme Fish, 32.26. Getting back into those low 32-second laps. A 30.62 for Bloemen, holding on to those 30-second laps as he comes around another turn. Graeme Fish, as you can see, very relaxed coming down this front stretch in the 10,000 meter. And Ted-Jan coming up right behind him into the same stretch, 32.18 for Graeme Fish. 30.82 for Ted-Jan Bloemen. Seems like he's holding on to those high 30-second laps. He now has the benefit of a view of Graeme Fish to chase down in this next part of the race. And a solid negative split by Graeme Fish, 32.08 seconds. Let's see if he dips into those 31s. Another 30.86 second lap for Ted-Jan Bloemen. Very solid flat race for Ted-Jan as he's coming up on Graeme Fish. Graeme Fish coming out of the corner into the front stretch. Ted-Jan Bloemen about 100 meters behind Fish at this point. 31.98 seconds for Fish, dipping into those 31-second laps. And Ted-Jan Bloemen also negative splits into 30.67. Ted-Jan Bloemen now just over 11 seconds ahead of Jordan Belchos's previously set time. Let's see if he can dip into that 12-minute 10K. And Graeme Fish with another 31.96, holding on to those high 31s. 30.81 for Jan Bloemen, all coming up very close to Graeme Fish, about 50 meters behind at this point. Graeme Fish trying to stay very relaxed going into this corner. And lots of people on the sidelines there watching this race unfold. Graeme Fish coming up with now a 32.32 second lap. And Ted-Jan Bloemen also dips into his next lap time of 31.04. Let's see if they can both bring it back down to their respective lap times. Ted-Jan Bloemen less than 50 meters behind Fish at this point. Graeme Fish back down into 31s with a 31.95. Ted-Jan Bloemen also back down to his lap time with a 30.76. Both of these skaters have done multiple negative splits in this race so far, which is very commendable in this long 10,000 meter distance. Ted-Jan Bloemen really chasing Graeme Fish down this front stretch here. Graeme Fish with another 31-second lap, 31.90. Ted Jan Blumen with a 30.49. Negative split by both skaters. Ted Jan Blumen trying to pick his time to pass Graeme Fish in this race. It's key that Ted Jan Blumen does not mess up his rhythm as he passes Graeme Fish. Graeme Fish with another 31.83 and Ted Jan Blumen 30.91. And it seems that Jan Blumen is about to make his move on Fish down this back stretch. Very smooth transition by both skaters. Now Graeme Fish has the opportunity to draft Ted Jan Blumen slightly. It is very important that he does not get too close to Blumen. Ted Jan Blumen with a lap time of 30.64 and Graeme Fish also negative split 31.63. It's very important that Graeme Fish stays far enough back from Ted Jan Blumen that he does not get a full draft from the skater. If the referees think that he is getting too much of a draft, he will be disqualified. Another 30-second lap by Ted Jan Blumen, 30.83, and Graeme Fish with another negative split of 31.40 seconds. Ted Jan Blumen now over 17 seconds ahead of Jordan Belchos' previously set leading time. Coming into the front stretch, both skaters within 50 meters of one another. Ted Jan with a time of 30.90 seconds and Graeme Fish with another negative split of 31.36. .1,200 meters to go for Jan Blumen here and 1,600 meters for Graeme Fish. And coming into another lap here, 31.17 for Blumen and 31.26 for Fish. Coming onto the same lap times for both of these skaters. Well done. Ted Jan Blumen coming up to his bell lap on this front straightaway. Graeme Fish still has 2 laps to go. Ted Jan Blumen with a big negative split of 30.10 seconds. Graeme Fish with another negative split of 31.12. Graeme Fish has negative splitted over half of his laps this race. And coming up to the finish for world record holder Ted Jan Blumen. Let's see what he can do. A very respectable time of 12 minutes, 46.83 seconds. And another negative split lap time by Graeme Fish, 31.14, going into his final lap. Dropping both arms now to get as much out of his legs as he can, going into the final corner of his 10,000 meter. And down the final stretch for Graeme Fish, lots of people on the sidelines cheering him on as he comes into the last few meters of his 10,000 meter race with a final time of 13 minutes, 22 seconds. Very well done by Graeme Fish. And that concludes our men's 10,000 meter races in the 2017 Fall World Cup selections. We will now take a short break leading into the women's 5,000 meters where we have 2 pairs. First pair, Isabel Weidman on the inner, paired with Abigail McCluskey on the outer. And the second pair is Josie Morrison and Victoria Spence, the duel of the sisters.